Hello and welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows. In this episode, we'll be doing the player ratings for the match between Manchester City and Chelsea. It was a brilliant game of football. City leading 1-0 at halftime, and then Chelsea turning it around and scoring the last second to clinch the game 2-1. And that delays City's title celebrations. If they won the game, they would have won the title. It's delayed for now. They're probably going to win it very soon. But for Chelsea, a lot of confidence going into the Champions League final, and also a very important win with the top four in mind as well. With the top four race, I think a big win for Chelsea, and they're showing under Tuchel that they're a very solid, organized team and not that easy to beat. So yeah, let's start off with the City's player ratings and move on to Chelsea. For City, Ederson in goal. There was one really good save that he made, I think, of Alonso when he tried to chip him. Apart from that, he couldn't do much with the two goals. I'll probably give him 6 out of 10 for Ederson. And then Diaz, I think he was good. Not the same performance as the PSG one, but still solid. Like won the aerial battles as well, got some tackles in. But be very disappointed not to hang on, especially in the last minute. You don't want to give that space and everything, even though it wasn't directly his fault. He was in that defense, so I'm going to give him 6 out of 10. Laporte again, similar to Diaz, but in terms of when he had the possession, he was losing it. He wasn't as clean in possession, wasn't as useful. So he'd want to improve on that. I'm going to give Laporte 5 out of 10. Ake again, I think in the first half he was really good, very solid. Chelsea had a few chances, but he was very solid at the back, didn't let anything go through. And then in the second half, though, he tapered off a bit. You couldn't really see much of him. So for Ake again, I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Ake. Cancelo, I think he did well. At the back he was good. Defensively, he did his duties, but going up front it wasn't as what do you call it, as effective. He didn't provide a threat, and you normally he goes forward and really causes problems in the opposition box. So with those crosses and everything. So yeah, I think I'll give Cancelo a 6. Rodri, I think he looked kind of shaky. He lost possession for that first goal, and everyone was talking, oh, if Fernandinho was there, he wouldn't have really done that. So yeah, something that Rodri needs to work on, needs to be more solid. He can't make those mistakes because in midfield, it's a very, very important area, and that's where goals can build from. So he has to be a bit more tidy next time and more disciplined. So I'm going to give Rodri a 5. Mendy, I think he was very poor today. Reece James was all over him, and yeah, I just didn't have a good day. Probably he needs some more game time. He's been suffering injuries throughout his career, so yeah, I think I'm going to give Mendy a 4 out of 10. Moving on to Raheem Sterling, I think he played really well. Scored a goal. Unfortunate not to get a penalty. He should have got a penalty as well, probably in the second half. But I think he played well, got into good space. He has that pace, he has that trickery, and it's good to see him finishing as well. That's something that he's not been consistent with, but he scored that goal off Aguero. It was good presence of mind. It was Aguero's shot, but it's just he didn't get that first touch, and Sterling was there to pick up the pieces. So a credit to him over there. I'm going to give Sterling 8 out of 10. I think it was a good performance from him individually, especially he didn't play the Champions League game. He came off on the bench. That would have really hampered his confidence. But to come back strong like this, I think I have to give him some credit there. Torres, I think again he struggled. He tried, but didn't create any chances. I barely saw him. Maybe once he got the ball and took a shot, which we miscued. But apart from that, rarely saw him in the game. And yeah, wasn't his day. I'll give him a 4 out of 10. Aguero, it's that penalty kick. Everyone was hyping it like this will be probably his last goal for City. It's gonna, what a way to end. What a way to end his career at Manchester City, winning one title and then winning another title with this penalty. But it just wasn't to be. He was trying to be cheeky, and you saw Pep Guardiola was really, really upset with that. You could see in the sidelines that he was pissed off, and he just didn't understand why he went for that penalty for the chip. And I think that's something Aguero will be disappointed with as well. Will he get more chances to play for City? I don't know. Hopefully, he's a great player again. But apart from the penalty kick, you didn't really see him that goal as well. which Sterling scored. It was supposed to be Aguero's. He just couldn't get his touch properly. His touch has been missing. He's looking rusty. He's not getting those shots off. Even those runs are not as effective as they were before. And that's probably because of a lack of game time for Sergio Aguero. So I'm going to give Aguero, I have to give him a 3 out of 10 because he missed that penalty and cost them the game. If he scores that penalty, it's very difficult for Chelsea to come back into the game. But yeah, so I'm going to give Aguero a 3 out of 10. Jesus, I think, played really well. Got that. He didn't, I don't know if he got that assist, but yeah, he created that goal, the first goal, got that ball into the box. He ran around, he was working hard. He was like a bee everywhere. Yeah, he wasn't letting the defense settle, and he tried his best. It just wasn't good enough for City on the day, but I'll give him 8 on 10. I think he really put in a good effort. For the substitutes, Gundogan, he came on for Torres. He got in a couple of shots that were blocked, but yeah, apart from that, he just had 20 minutes. Could have created a bit more, but yeah, I'll probably give him 7 out of 10 for Gundogan. I'm surprised he didn't start because, when Kevin De Bruyne is not playing, you expect somebody like a Gundogan who played so well in between when De Bruyne was injured. So I would have really liked him to start there, but I'll give him 7 on 10. Phil Foden, again, I think he made a few good runs. He made it difficult for the opposition, and always a creative player, always a threat going forward. And he's been a sensation this season. Unfortunately, he couldn't make the impact. I'll give him 7 on 10. That wraps up City's ratings for Pep Guardiola. I think, he didn't play his full first team, but they still have a brilliant squad. With this team, you still expect to beat Chelsea because Chelsea also didn't play their full first team. So with Man City, not too many excuses. I think, that Aguero mistake, it's not really Guardiola's fault, missing that penalty. You could tell he was really upset. But apart from that, he'll be a bit upset because they're playing the same team again in the Champions League final, and now it's twice in the FA Cup semi-final and then this game in the space of like 3 weeks that they've lost to Chelsea. So he will have to come up with fresh tactics, against Tuchel. This Chelsea team is hard to break, so City will have to do something different, and they need to take the chances. I think that's something they'll have to work on, creating chances in training and then just scoring those goals, trying to practice scoring whatever, even the half chances you have against the Chelsea team, you need to take it. So yeah, I'll give Guardiola a 6 out of 10. I think he got it right. In resting his players, you can't always play everybody every single game. But yeah, the players, I don't think they really lived up to the task for this game. So I'll give him 6 on 10 for Guardiola. That wraps up City's ratings. Let's go to Chelsea's. Mendy saved that Aguero penalty, but he didn't really have much to do in that. It went straight at him, but it's good that he didn't really dive straight away. He waited a bit, so that's smart. I will, add that into consideration. When it came to his feet, he was a bit, uncomfortable at times, but otherwise, when the ball was in the air, he was commanding his box, the corners. He marshaled his defense well, even at free kicks and everything. And yeah, I think I'm going to give Mendy probably a 7 on 10 for his performance. For the goal, again, he couldn't do too much. Azpilicueta, I think, played really well. He defensively, he'd be upset conceding the first goal, but again, I think he kept on trying. He didn't give up. He got that assist for the first goal as well. So he's shown that he can pose an attacking threat. He's been sensation this season. The way Tuchel has brought him back into the thick of things, and he's the center of attraction now in that Chelsea defense. He's solidified it. And despite the good thing is, like, okay, fine, we didn't keep a clean sheet, but then to make sure that there's no more goals here against a very, very strong City team who are probably going to win the league, I think that shows a lot of willpower, a lot of fight as well. So Azpilicueta, I think he had a really good game. For that assist, I'll give him an extra point. I'll give him 8 out of 10. Christensen, I think he was decent up until that mistake for the first goal where he pulled his hamstring as well. That's very unlucky to pull your hamstring. He's injured now. Crucial time. There's 2 finals to look forward to. Will he come back for them? I really don't know what the update is right now, but I'm not sure if he'll be fit for the FA Cup, but hopefully for the Champions League, if he does at least come on from the bench. But yeah, Christensen, I think that was a big mistake. He didn't read the ball at all for the first goal. Should have been a bit more aware and a bit more disciplined in that situation. It really cost his team an important goal. Fortunately for them, they turned it around. But yeah, he had a good game, but that mistake, you have to deduct points for that. So I'm going to give Christensen, I'm going to give him 4 on 10 because unfortunately he got subbed off. That's not his fault. He got injured, but for that mistake, I'm going to deduct a point and apart from that, he was decent. So 4 on 10 for Christensen. Rudiger again, very strong at the back. It was he didn't let much through. He has a strong presence, and he's been the find of the season as well, along with Aspilicueta. Under Lampard, things were going south for Rudiger, but he's come back. He's improved his game. He's playing well. He's commanding that box, and he has that physical presence. And then even going forward from corners, he always provides an attacking option, and he can score those headers as well. So yeah, Rudiger, I think a very good display from him. I'll probably give him a 7 on 10. Reece James, absolutely fantastic. He was brilliant. Defensively, he was solid. And then going forward, he posed the attacking threat. He caused Mendy's all sorts of problems as well. It was brilliant. And, he's shown that the talent is there. He just needs to become more consistent. And if he can put in performances like this, it really do Chelsea a world of good. If you see the likes of Liverpool, City, who've had successful Premier League seasons in the recent past, they've focused on their wing backs. And if Reece James can put in performances like this on a consistent basis, I think he'll do his team a world of good, and really it'll help them beat these kind of teams like City and Liverpool as well. So yeah, I'm gonna give Reece James a 9 on 10. I think it was a fantastic performance by him. Kante, in the first half, he struggled a bit against City, but against dominant City midfield. But then after that, he got into the game. He won the ball. He's getting those tackles in. Going forward as well, he was instrumental in starting plays, not necessarily creating everything, but he was starting some plays, and he was going forward as well. And Kante is just a workhorse. He'll always give you 100%. I think he got subbed off in the end, so I'll probably give him 7 on 10 for his overall performance. Gilmore, I think in the beginning, very shaky. He gave away that penalty, even though I don't think that was a penalty. I don't think it should have been given. It was soft, but credit to Tuchel here to give Gilmore the confidence to stay there and, just try to improve and rectify his mistakes. And that's what he did. And it shows this kid is mentally strong, because you must have been really scared if you give a penalty like that. And then the penalty was saved, a bit of relief there, but then to make sure that you don't make any mistakes against, again, a very, very potent City attack. I think credit to Gilmore there and Tuchel as well for backing him. And he looks like a bright talent. And if he can just continue with this confidence, I think his future looks bright. I'm going to give him 8 on 10 extra, because that penalty, I don't think it was a penalty, and an extra point for coming back and showing that mental strength. Alonso, I think before that, before he scored the goal, everyone was saying, "What is he doing?" He made a few mistakes here and there, and he was getting caught out in possession. He was misplacing the ball as well. But that goal just turned everything around. Last minute, crucial goal to win Chelsea the game. I think he's a match winner, right? At the end of the day, that goal is a match winner, and good presence of mind, good positioning, and a really good finish. I think he took it onto his right and finished it with his left. I don't know if he meant it, but it was a good finish in the end. The goal is what counts, and credit to him. I have to give him an extra point for that. I think it wasn't the best Marcos Alonso performance, but it's good. Tuchel is giving these experienced players chances. He's not just relying on youngsters. He's mixing up youth and experience, and he has the squad now. He's using all the players in the squad depending on the match and the situation. And a game against City, where you need to win not only for confidence for Champions League final, but also for top four. You're playing an experienced player like Alonso. It gives that player also a lot of confidence that he's looked at for important games, and it shows his importance in the team. So I'm going to give Alonso a 9 on 10. Ziyech, fantastic goal, brilliant. He was outstanding today. Balling performance, on the ball, he's very calm. When he's fully fit and he's at it, I think he's shown a lot of class, and I think that's it. He just needs to work on his injuries, be a bit more consistent. You try physically, just be fit to play games, and he's getting used to the pace now of the Premier League. That's a big thing. You saw that goal was just beautifully taken. He has more awareness now of the defenders coming in, where they're coming from. He's getting into better space as well. His technique, you can never doubt. He's always good. We saw that in Ajax as well. I have to give Ziyech 9.5. I was really impressed with his performance. It was a really good performance from Ziyech. And then moving on to Pulisic again. First half, like the other players, a bit slow to start off. He maybe I don't know if it was. I don't think it was fatigue, because he came off. He came off the bench against Real Madrid, so he was probably fresh. But just getting used to the game and City's tactics, it took him a bit of time. But second half, he grew into it. And the first goal, he contributed in the first goal, and then he made some really good runs, some very very threatening runs to that City defense, and he looked pretty good. I'm going to give Pulisic 8 out of 10. He's been the find over the last month. He's scoring goals. He's also contributing off the ball. And like yesterday, he didn't score the goal, but he contributed and he was making those runs, giving Chelsea a lot of space as well, and off the flanks and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna give Pulisic 8 out of 10. Is good performance, and he has a very bright future for Chelsea. Werner, before he couldn't score, now he's scoring, but he's scoring offside. Unfortunate, but he got the assist. He got the assist for Alonso goals, a very good assist, and it's showing that this guy has a lot of talent. It's just a mental thing. He needs to just start. He just needs to keep going. And once he starts scoring those goals, I think it'll change his career a bit. It's been a tough start for him. Very unfortunate. First, he's missing chances. Now he's scoring them, but they're offside. And I think he just needs to now, even those offside goals, I think it'll give him some confidence that the ball is going into the net. Now he just needs to work on his positioning, which has been good. I don't think that's been an issue. It's just his finishing, and hopefully those offside goals gives him that confidence. Again, assist, off the ball, he's really good. He's giving you assists. He's providing those runs. He's creating space for the likes of Pulisic, Ziyech, even Havertz in the other games. He's providing space for them as well to come in from behind and score those goals. So I think Werner has done a good job. Of course, there's always room for improvement. Even for him, he will want to score more goals. He wants to be a prolific striker for Chelsea. He needs to be more clinical, like we've always said. And he'll just need to work on his positionings. But because even against Madrid, I think he scored an offside goal over there. But I think that wraps up the starting 11 for substitutes. Zuma came on for Christensen. I think he was a bit lucky. He almost gave a penalty away against Sterling, but the ref didn't call that. Otherwise, I think he did a decent job. I'll give him 6/10. Jorginho, I think he did really well. Came on for Kante and he filled in those boots. He calmed the game down. He controlled it, and Chelsea looked comfortable when he was there on the pitch. His passing was very accurate, and you could see that he was bossing the game in a certain manner. So I'm going to give Jorginho 7/10. And then Hudson-Odoi, I think he scored an offside goal. He came on for Ziyech, but he did create chances. He caused some issues for that defense for Man City. Yeah, he did score that offside goal. It was marginally offside, and he's getting into good spaces, causing problems for the defense, causing some havoc there. He has a lot of energy, fresh legs, and good substitute to have in these situations. I'll give him a 6/10 for Hudson-Odoi. That wraps up the player ratings. For the coach, manager Tuchel, I'm going to give him a 9/10. Just one mark for conceding a goal early on. But no, I'm just joking. He was a fantastic performance. Tuchel has really showed the importance of a tactical manager in the Premier League. And to take Chelsea from 10th place, where I think they were with Lampard, and now they're in the top 4, then the Champions League final, the FA Cup final. He's a fantastic season. And yes, he has a really good squad, but you saw Lampard had a similar squad. It just shows you need some experience, you need some tactical nous, which this man has. He knows exactly what the opposition is going to do, and he plans accordingly. Of course, he will get things wrong in the future. He might not win both cup finals. He might win both cup finals, but either way, I think he's done a really good job. He deserves to be Chelsea coach next season as well, to take them from that position. That's how I look at it. I always look at managers, if they can take a struggling team into a really solid position, no matter what the squad is. I think you have to give him credit over there. And he's getting the best out of these players now. Even Werner is lacking so much confidence, but he's still playing him, and he's at least contributing now with assists. And he scored a goal as well in the Champions League. So that's a lot of Tuchel there. You see a lot of work going on behind the scenes in the training ground, getting those tactics right, getting those passes right, getting those plans right. And I have to give him credit over there. I think he's been fantastic. And if he can secure a cup or even both cups, that'll be next to nothing for Chelsea. It'll be unbelievable for them. And he's made them into a solid team, strong team, difficult to break down defensively. They're much more organized. And once you lay those foundations, one thing he did brilliantly was he laid the foundations, he made sure that they built from the back. Everything has to be solid at the back. And then going forward, you'll always be effective. If you're keeping clean sheets or just conceding a goal a game, then you just need to score 2 or 3. But if you're conceding 3, 4, like they were previously, then it becomes difficult you're playing catch up all the time. So credit to Tuchel over there, 9/10 performance for him, I think. And that wraps up the play ratings. It was a fantastic game of football. City are still probably going to win the league very soon. It's just a matter of time. But for now, I think Chelsea have the bragging rights going into the Champions League final. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. We'll do some content for the Champions League as well. But yeah, until then, catch you next time. Take care and see you.